Good morning, everyone. It is clan versus clan time again. So I wanted to throw together a quick little video just to go over some of the basics of clan versus clan, how it works, and what a good way to accumulate points, whether free to play or not, um, in your upcoming clan battles, and ensure that you're doing your best. So the first thing I want to talk about is the best way of accumulating points. So things like um, the champion objectives is really a great way to push points. So similar to a champion training tournament, when you have rank 5 and 6-star champions who are getting levels, you can accumulate a pretty quick amount of points. Upgrading and ranking 5 and 6 champions. High level ascensions. Level 5 ascension is 1,000 for a legendary and 2,500 for level 6. And epic, 200 and 500. Books are a huge way. So one of the biggest recommendations that I can apply, especially for free-to-play players, if you have champions that you're planning on booking, but you're not in a rush to book them and it's not immediately going to change the progress on your account, wait. Always wait for CVCs and use this as a way to push your points. Now, it depends on the type of clan that you're in and what your strategies are. Some clans don't take CVC very seriously. It's just, put up your points, do whatever you can. If we win, great. If not, that's fine also. Some clans take it very seriously and use a more concerted effort on using things like books and 6-star ascensions and, Great Hall upgrades, stuff like that, right at the end of the fight to make sure that they win and have a forced burst point. So it really depends on the clan that you're in, but the most important point that I kind of want to make is even as a free-to-play player, it's very easy to put up 150, 200,000 points in CVC if you do it effectively and if you use your resources efficiently. Saving books, saving 6-star rank ups, and leveling, high level ascensions, great halls is a great way to accumulate points. Another way that a lot of people use is you're going to be farming, let's say, for a champion training tournament, or you're farming food anyways. So all of those diabolists and hound spawns that you collect, don't use them as food. Save them and use them as a skill up. That is 500 points per. So if you have 20 of those, and you can just skill up one of your hound spawns or diabolists, that's a decent amount of burst points out of nowhere. Granted, at the same way, you can also use them as food, and then use it to rank up more 5 stars and 6 stars, which is another good strategy. But the idea is efficient use of resources. So making sure you kind of hold off and play a little bit of Wait Shadow Legends. Now, we always recommend that this is the strategy if it's not going to drastically change progression on your account. If you got a new legendary or a new epic and you've been stuck on a level in Doom Tower or on a specific dungeon and you want to push and progress yourself, I would never recommend waiting to do that. If you can and you're not in a rush, then wait, because then again you're using those resources more efficiently. But every account is different and every person is different, so teach their own. The next thing I want to talk about is the 2 times points. So in every clan versus clan, there will be a couple of different ways where there's 2 times points available for that. And you can see here that it's limited to 20,000. So it's definitely a way that you want to kind of maximize your value. So usually, the champion objectives and stuff like that, I wait until later to use because we want to apply those burst points at the end. But stuff like the 2 times, whatever it is, whether it's Minotaur or Faction Wars or Forge or whatever it is, that's kind of where I put my focus at the beginning because I want to make sure that I use up all of those points. And it's a good way to kind of keep me slow rolling as I go through the objectives. So in this case, it's Minotaur and it's Forge. So I'm going to be doing both of those today at some point. The next thing I want to talk about is 3v3. So for those of you who don't know, as you can see, I have 200 points in 3v3. The higher up you are in the 3v3 tier, the more points you will accumulate in. Take a look here. Show it here. I'll just show you a fight. The more points you will accumulate in the actual fight itself. So for example, this is a very common strategy that everybody uses. You purposely throw your defense right before CVC starts so that you have easy wins and free wins for all of your keys. You also use gems to buy keys ahead of time. So before When I say keys, I mean token refills. So before CVC started, you should buy in the shop the 15 gem refill and the 40 gem refill. So just like that, that's 555 points for CVC. So this is a huge strategy that people use, and the higher you are in 3v3, the more points this will get. This is why I'm making a very concerted effort and a very concerted push towards gold in 3v3, because it's just going to make my CVC life easier. So literally, just by sitting here in 10 minutes, I'm going to be able to accumulate 5,000 points like that. Then I'm going to refresh, do it again, refresh, do it again, refresh, do it again. So it's 20,000 points per day minimum, literally, just by planning in advance, by using your resources effectively, by making sure that when CVC is coming, so after that reset that happened on Sunday night, just setting in a throw defense. It's literally all it takes. So another great way of accumulating pretty quick and easy points. Now, I'm not going to make you watch me do all of my fights. I just want to illustrate as an example the different little ways that you can accumulate points that you may not have known about. The next thing is faction wars. By doing faction wars, these are not my teams. These are not my teams at all. By doing faction wars, and when I say I have a throw defense, literally I have one person in each. Faction wars. Okay, so when you look at faction wars, there actually is a pretty significant difference between farming level 20, let's say, and farming level 21 or anything else. So if we look at clan versus clan, and all this information is always here, by beating stage 21 specifically, you get double the points of doing anything between 16 to 20. So obviously, if you can be farming 21, again, this is a great source of points. You obviously want to be making sure that you get your best chests, and ideally UNM, NM, and Brutal, and if you can as well, hard, because extra points doesn't hurt. Forge objectives, check this out. 6-star legendary is worth 500 apiece. So this is a great time to be using those rank charms, those rarity charms. Like, so for example, I'm a Forge hoarder a little bit. I've been farming Hard Scarab for the whole rotation. And I've been waiting for this CVC to start making a ton of untouchable pieces to allow me to help push my 3v3. So again, the name of the game here is efficient use of resources. Okay? In our clan, we try and purposely, at least now we are, because I've yelled at everybody, we try and purposely wait and not put up a lot of points early. We want them to use all their points, we want them to use all their burst, and we want to just slow roll. The reason why in our clan the minimum is 180,000 points is quite simply because that's how you reach the T6 rewards. T6 rewards are 5,400,000, 180,000 points each times 30 members is exactly 5.4. And if we see that somebody is slacking a little bit or has to be, has some personal stuff going on, can't accumulate that much, then we together will add an extra 10,000 points each to make sure that we stay as close to that 5.4 million number as possible. In a perfect world, we would win the fight, but if we lose, it's fine, because the more important battle is the one that's coming in 2 weeks, the personal rewards, we hope, CVC battle. That's where you want to save all those burst points and all of those extra things like books if you don't need to use them. So like me personally on my account, I'm not dying really to skill up any of my legendaries right now. That's why during the last CVC, I didn't even use my legendary book. So I'm up to 26 books now. I used a bunch of epics because for Hydra, I needed to push multiple husks, multiple geos, and stuff like that. But legendaries wise, there really wasn't anybody that I was dying to book. So like I have, one spot left here on my Trunda, which I'll do at some point during the CVC towards the end. I have I think one as well, maybe on my Candy, or a couple on my Candy. So it's just, again, if it's not going to make or break your account, just try and hold off. Okay, so what have we talked about so far? Talked about the importance of the champion objective specifically, right? Trying to... Now this, obviously, you wait and you use them at an opportune time. During a fusion event, you try and max your shard. Like, I'm very against just using shards just for CVC. I always try, me and my channel, I preach efficiency. I always try to match it up to at least a 10 times if you have to but really we don't love 10 times. Ideally, it's a 2 times. So that's really when you should be pushing this kind of stuff. Upgrading champions, you should always be ranking up chicken food. So just timing is really everything. Understanding when to do these kinds of things. Okay, so we talked about the champion objectives. Then we have, campaign objective, potion, keeps objectives. This is just standard stuff. Dungeon farming. So a ton of people use Spider as their main bread and butter in CVC. So why is Spider specifically such an efficient way of using your energy? Well, number one, when you're farming Spider 25, okay, you're getting that extra 100 points. And this applies to all dungeons. Whenever you're farming 25 over, where's the rest of it? Right? Ice Golem, Dragon, same thing. Except Dragon is less. Weird flex. Because there's super raids going on? Or is that always how it is? I don't know. Anyways, so the point is, 20 is generally the best for tournaments. Because you can do it faster, you can accumulate more points. 24, mathematically, is the best for large majority of players in terms of energy spend versus gear reward. And 25 is best for CVC. 25 is also best for super, super late game players who essentially have infinite energy, because the higher you get a slightly higher, and I mean that, slightly higher chance of getting those 6-star legendary pieces. Whereas for most people's accounts, 6-star epics can really still help you a lot. So the reason why people focus specifically Spider, okay, for CVC is it's kind of a 3-pronged attack. Prong number 1, you're getting 300 points per fight if you're farming 25. Prong number 2, it's a great source of silver, the best source of silver in the game. And number 3, you can use that silver to roll up gear, which again will get you more value. So glyphing, like I have my max 40 glyphs mission going on right now, so I'm going to be trying my best to get as many glyphs that max during the CVC. But check this out. Upgrading a 6-star artifact or accessory to level 16 is another 1,500 points per piece. That is a huge amount of points if you've been hoarding and saving silver, and if you do a bunch of Spider to get more, and then you just forge, right, and roll. So that's literally going to be my strategy for this CVC, is I'm going to do my 3v3s, I'm going to do my arenas, I'm going to do my faction wars, I'm going to do my clan bosses, and I'm just going to use all of this silver. And conveniently, if I'm not mistaken, during this CVC, they brought this in, 50% gear removal cost reduction. So for anybody who's been avoiding regearing champions or avoiding taking, swapping, doing stuff like that, this is an excellent opportunity to do so. So that's why for the next 1 day and 20 hours, that is my primary focus on my account. I'm going to be selling and cleansing my gear. I'm going to be rolling up all of my good pieces, and I'm going to be swapping and rebuilding all of my champions. And this should, I'm pretty sure I'm going to easily hit that 180k requirement that we have without much effort, because 1,500 points per 6-star, which is obviously the majority of where my focus is going to be. I'm going to prioritize 6-star pieces over 5-star pieces. I'm going to roll a ton of stuff to 12. So again, just by rolling it to 12, it's 200 points for 5-star, 300 points per 6-star. That's a lot of points that you can accumulate very, very quickly. Okay, so the point of this video is really just to give you a representation of how many ways there are available to you to accumulate points. And just by saving and effectively using your resources, it really becomes a lot easier than you think. Like even on my free-to-play, I was able to put up around 50,000 points on my first CVC, which was like a week into the game. Just because I knew what was coming. I saved all my books. I saved all my valuable 6-star rank ups and that kind of, well, all one of them. I kind of prioritized ahead of time. And in my plan, it wasn't a big deal, but it was just nice to give that extra push and allow us to, get a little bit further in the tier, which of course gets you more free rewards. That's the whole idea, right? The higher the tier, the more points you get, the more free rewards you get. And in this game, that stuff helps a ton. You really want to put that effort into getting whatever is available to you that they will give you for free without paywalling you. For example, 90 void shards, really? After a 2 times void and the 10 times void we just had? Really? So yeah, that's kind of the whole point of this video. Just a quick little overview of the strategy that I like to use when I'm doing my CVC fights. Prioritize how you're going to get your points. Be efficient with your resources. Save in advance. And then see if you need to use your burst resources. If you don't need to use them, save them for personal reward CVCs, because that is 2 times the rewards. Obviously, you need to win, so it helps if your whole clan is working together and communicating and doing this type of thing. But, 3v3 fights are huge. So for anybody who's not pushing their 3v3 or focusing on their 3v3, big recommendation to put some time and effort into building out your 3v3 and putting effort into it. The further you push, the more points you get per battle, the easier the farming is for CVC. I know people who are getting 75, 100,000 points just from 3v3s alone. Granted, they're in gold 4, so it's easier for them, but the logic still applies. I'm going to get 20, 30, 40,000, probably 20,000 per day, so around 60,000 points just from 3v3s. And yeah, it's going to be using some gems, but that's okay. That's why you have them, to use to make your raid life more efficient and give yourselves a better quality of life. So if you have any other questions about CVC, if there's anything I missed or forgot, please post them in the comments. I just woke up, okay? I'm trying my best out here, chat. But yeah, hopefully this helps. Hopefully this gives you a little bit of insight. But just remember, start with the basics, the slow rolls. Use your whatever the 2-time points that are available to you. Use those. Farm spiders so that you can get silver to roll up gear. Forge gear so that you have gear to roll up. Perception gear and a lot of the different Doom Tower gear availabilities, options that are available to you, are some of the best gear in the game. Like Perception is amazing, Untouchable is amazing, Guardian is a fantastic set. Everybody was farming Lethal during the Dark Fae rotation, amazing set. So this is what you kind of have to strategize in advance. Whenever a new Doom Tower rotation opens up, think to yourself, okay, what is the set that I want to be farming from here? Okay, you hit hard first. Get as high as you can in hard and start farming those good pieces as soon as you can, because in hard Doom Tower is how you get the legendary Untouchable. It's how you get the legendary pieces. It's not from normal. So that's why I always recommend pushing hard Doom Tower first. And like for anybody who saw me during the last CVC, I had probably 200 pieces of lethal that I made because I was farming Dark Fae as soon as I could, as much as I could. Right? So, champion objectives, the free 2 times points, save your books and resources if you can. Use your Diabolus and Hound spawns either as books or as ways to get more 6 stars, because when you burst 6-star levels, like in champion training tournaments, it's a lot of points. High level ascensions, don't worry about how bad my guild hall is. Great Hall, point, accumulation. Right, there's lots of different ways that the game makes available to you to really push and progress your CVC in a non-pay-to-win way. Like, there's a ton of points that are available to you just by using your resources effectively. Hope this helped. We'll see you next time.